Hi everybody, so it is February 2024 and last year I was getting loads of inquiries, loads of messages on my socials basically asking would I do more seed sowing tutorial videos, and to be honest it was one of those things that I've never really questioned before, never really did, because I didn't think it was that overly exciting and I didn't think maybe that the content would have been that amazing, but a lot of you have asked for it, so here we are. It's something I am going to try and pursue as much as I can. If you're really interested in seed sowing, I would suggest find my TikTok page. It's just You Cottage Garden on TikTok, and I am posting daily on it with updates regarding seed sowing. These kind of larger videos here, it does take me maybe sometimes a while longer to edit the content and just kind of produce it. So if this is something you're really interested in, you know, obviously find me on that channel. But I have 2 packets of seeds here. I have violas, a plant I never thought I would grow from seed, but here we are, and also some primulas, something that I have grown from seed before. So you can kind of hear, I'm not sure if the mic will pick that up, but you can sort of hear the viola seeds shaking about and not so much the primula seeds. That's because the primula seeds are really, really fine. They're like little, they're super fine. They're like little grains of sand. I can barely see them in the packet. Where the viola seeds is what I class as a large seed. Anything I can physically see with my human eye, or I can pick up between my fingertips and feel it. That's, in my opinion, what is a large seed. I also have 2 seed trays here, and I think this is where people sometimes maybe get a bit lost with seed sowing, is there is actually a correct seed tray or seed vessel that you have better success or less success with growing seeds. And then I have this seed tray, which is what I call a deep dish seed tray, which is non-cellular, so there's no cells in this one. This is my least favorite method of sowing seeds. However, sometimes you do need one of these deep dish cells one of these deep dish trays without any cells for certain types of seeds. So what would I use this type of tray for? I would use it for seeds like these primulas. There's no chance, there's not a snowball's chance I would ever get all those seeds successfully separated for a cellular tray, and if I did, it would take a very long time, so it would be very time consuming. Whereas the cellular tray I would use for seeds, as I mentioned, that I can pick up in my hand and I can place into the individual cells. So, for example, this is a tray of GMs that I sowed last October. Quite late last October, so I didn't get amazing success, but I still have over 50% success rate there in the tray. GM seeds are easily handled, they're easily obtained, and you can see, you know, they've come through quite well. But any seed any smaller than that, I would never get an individual seed per cell. So basically that's why I would use this type of tray. I would also use this type of tray for things like ornamental grasses, because grasses are one of those plants, again, the seeds are hard to separate, but when it comes to the pricking out stage, or the stage basically where you have to separate them all apart, it kind of just lets the roots have a bit more root run than what you would get in the cellular tray. Also, by the way guys, this is a CD60 seed tray, something I'm really passionate about. I'm not sponsored because I'm not, you know, that amazing, but it's designed by Charles Dowding. It's made by recycled plastics. It's a really hard, durable plastic. There's videos of people driving over these in cars. They're very, very good. They have really large drainage holes at the bottom, and they're perfectly tapered that give you just the adequate amount of earth for loads of different types of seeds. I think you now also get a CD30 and a CD15 if you need a smaller tray. The CD60 is my preference because I can do 3 rows of 20 or 30 and 30 or a full batch of 60. But also container wise, the company that makes these also does the bespoke dibber, but only for the CD60 module. So when I place it over the top, it gives me perfect uniformity across the board. Okay, so that's that wrapped up. I have my seed mix here behind me. It is just compost, multi-purpose compost with some sand and some perlite. It's a really free draining mix. That's all it is. You don't need anything fancy. And if you go to the garden centre and you buy seed compost, honestly, all you're buying is multi-purpose compost mixed with builder sand. That's all you're getting. Trade secret, nobody wants you to know that, and they'll charge you like double or triple the price, and it'll always be a tiny bag. Honestly, if you can access builder sand and some multi-purpose compost, just mix it yourself. It's far more cost effective if you're going into seeds in a big way. Okay, so let's do the primulas first. So I'm going to put some compost into this tray. So I've not even filled it the whole way to the top because there is a cost of living crisis, and like everything in the world, compost has got quite expensive. So don't feel you always have to fill your tray to the very top. You don't have to. And what I'm doing now is with my press is just firming the compost down, basically like a cake mixture. So as if you're doing like a cheesecake or something, like with digestives, it's the same idea. So that is it, perfectly nicely flattened out. And the reason we do that again is to get an even uniformity within the seed tray, so it's an even level the whole way through for the seeds to land on. So let me see, so here we go, Primula. So very, very tiny seeds. I can see that all the seeds have went to the bottom, so I am just tearing the top off. Okay, so now I have access to all the seeds. So what I do at this point is I shake the seeds kind of closely to the top of the paper. So they're kind of right on the edge, but they haven't fallen out at this point. And I pick a corner of the tray. So I'm picking a corner of the tray, and this is where people go wrong. A lot of people start in the middle when they start to sow seeds, especially if it's a non-cellular tray. You always start at a corner. So you find your corner and go in here, and I am just tapping the bag. So tap, tap, and there's maybe 2 or 3 at any one time falling out, tap, and so on. And I'm working my way around the tray, and then I'll do the shorter length, and again only 1 or 2 at a time here falling out. Okay, so that is the packet completely empty. So what is the reason for starting at that side and working my way around, and then you sort of work through the middle? You're getting perfect uniformity across the tray. When that tray starts to germinate, all the seeds will sort of evenly germinate, you know, across the surface. What you never want is all your seeds in one place, because what happens is then your compost either goes moldy or will start to grow like a green algae around the surface, or it'll maybe crack in from the surface if the tray dries out. And also sometimes if seeds are too close together, I always say that seeds need like safe social distancing. Seeds like to have their own wee sort of pocket of space around them. If you have a cluster of seeds sometimes too close together, I find the seed either stays dormant or sometimes it just rots. It'll not grow. So yeah, that's really important. So again, with really, really fine seeds like that, obviously I've just put them onto the surface there, but I don't know if they're direct contact yet with that compost. So again, I press down, so I'm doing another press, but this time the seed is on the surface, and I don't lift the tray or the press above the tray until I've pressed right around, and then I tilt it up still within the tray and sweep the back down just in case there maybe is any seeds on the surface of the back. And now I know that the seeds have good contact with the compost. I'm now going to set this in a soaker tray. I will set it in there for 20 to 30 minutes, and then I will take it out. Because these seeds are so small, they probably will need direct light to germinate them, so I'm not putting any vermiculite or any grit on the surface. I'm just leaving it as the bare compost. Now that's usually my least favourite way to germinate seeds. I do like a layer of vermiculite or grit over the top. Reasons being is it just stops the tray from dehydrating a bit quicker, but with super fine seed like that, sometimes they do need direct light. They prefer not to be covered, so I will leave it like this. Okay, so the CD60 then. So I put my compost into the tray, and this is slightly different over the non-cellular tray. So I do the tap test. So basically you're knocking all the air out of the cells. Obviously I can't get my press into these individually, and now I know that kind of the compost is adjusted. There's a nice even coverage there on all the cells. So I get my dibber, I press it over the top, and I do a nice firm press, and I lift off. And look at that, I have perfect, even, dibbed little nooks there for the seeds to land into. Perfect. So I open my viola seeds and I do the same again. I will shake them to the top, but they're much easier to see this time. And I always go from corner and I do the shortest rows. So 1, if it'll pop out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. I'll not do the whole tray, but I will get to the end. I will do all 60. I will put a sprinkling of vermiculite over the top of this, and again I'll set it in a soaker tray for 20 to 30 minutes. I will take it out. And remember guys, lastly, the most important thing that you will ever do with any seed tray is write your label. There's been so many times I've said, oh, I'll remember what it is, and I can identify most seedlings usually without even needing to write a label. But even at that, there is times where I have got it wrong or mucked it up or couldn't remember the colour even if I could identify the plant. So you always write label. So viola, and you can write a date as well if you want. So Feb 24. And I'll write one for the Primulas as well. And that's it done. So I'll try and maybe do some coverage sometimes with other seeds that I'm sowing, or maybe things that are a bit trickier to sow, and give you updates on that. But hopefully that was beneficial, and if there's any other seeds that you want me to sow or you want information on, drop me a comment and I will make the content bespoke to that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye for now.